Hey, what's up, Money Grows on Trees Facebook group members, those watching the replay, might be on our Facebook page. Super excited to do another success story from our 5 Steps to Millions Millionaire Mentorship Program. And I'm super excited for this one. I'm excited for all of them, but this particular gentleman has had tremendous breakthroughs in his mindset so far. He's grown leaps and bounds in his money journey since we first started together. So I wanted to invite him on to pick his brains and ask him a few questions and hopefully inspire a few you guys to take massive action when it comes to your money and your mindset. So Simon Davies, thanks for jumping on.
No problem at all.
The man, the myth, the concept. So, it's really interesting. I never know. Whenever we do a discovery call, in our program, we start off with a big discovery call. And I just never know who's going to lean in and really grow rapidly or take some time to settle in or whatever it might be. But I'm really impressed with how fast you've changed and implemented things. Because I still remember our conversations about the grocery budget, even like in the early stages.
Yeah.
And
I bet you were looking at me like thinking it's not going to be him. It's definitely not going to be him.
I was like, look, I really hope he brings the grocery budget down. Anyway, it was really great. I'm impressed. So, tell me before you started with us here, what was your life like? What was happening in your life?
Well, on paper, and I'll explain why. My life is pretty good. I've had a successful career in the public sector. I'm a chief officer for local government. I've got a family. Everything's good. I've got teenage daughters. Everything's fine. And in the public sector, we did a lot of work over and above during COVID, this, that, and the other. I turned 50 last year as well, so it just got me thinking in a big way. But the one thing that was in my head constantly was, I've always worked hard to get on in my career and earn more money. But every month it was like more month than money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was like, well, how can that be? I've had another promotion and yet I'm still, I could rewind 20 years financially, and I'd still be in the same place. So I couldn't quite work it out. So I've always been somebody that's kind of invested in myself. So I just thought, for a change, rather than doing another postgrad course or something, or trying to pursue something more company based, if you like, I thought I'd explore. Well, I read your book basically, and that was me off and running.
You thought you'd explore an independent education outside the matrix. Yeah,
somebody other than me.
Yeah. So was it this book?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the
Money
one.
Buys Happiness. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then, so what was the one thing that made you decide? So let's say even if you read the book, once you read the book, what was the one thing that you decided or made you decide to make a big change and take massive action and kind of move into the mentorship program?
I've read a lot of self-help books over the year, and I don't mind saying this in front of you, Lloyd. That's probably the one that covers everything that I could possibly want. It's on a mindset is a big thing for me. I think it's great. I consider myself to be coachable, and certainly mentorable, if that's a word. And
Yes.
I've got, as I said, 2 teenage daughters. Okay, I'm 50, so it's the legacy thing as well. I want them to be better with money and have a good mindset, a lot more than certainly I have, and I could probably speak for my wife as well. We've never been great in managing that kind of thing, but it just ticked every box for me. And to be fair to you, it was only $9 or whatever it was. I thought this is amazing. This is crazy. The guy's off his head.
Thank you. Yeah. So the book obviously resonated with you that much that when it came time to, I think you would have taken up one of our couple coaching sessions that we offer those that grab the book. And you would have chatted to one of our coaches, Melissa. They're both called Melissa. And so they would have explained sort of, where you're at. They would have unpacked some things with you, given you some tasks, which would have been super valuable, I dare say. What was it that compelled you to kind of jump into the mentorship though, and kind of like work with me more closely and kind of really, invest in yourself?
Well, first of all, I'm not a massive cynic, and I'll, if I explore things and I get to a point where I think, yeah, this is for me, I'll always give it a go. But first of all, you get, you're talking to somebody on the other side of the world, and you're actually speaking to somebody, not a computer. It's not a website that's trying to flog you something. I know that sounds daft, but I was actually having a call with Melissa, and she was kind of coaching me, if you like, but asking me, very important questions to me, that I was more than happy to answer with her. And yeah, that's when I got to the point, and I said I did give the old classic, I suppose, to a salesperson. I need to speak to my wife, but I did, and I did, and we both agreed that through me, I could invest in myself to take me on a different journey. And I'll be honest, I'm so glad I did. I really am glad I did. And I can't believe it was only 2 months ago.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's incredible, really, because I feel like you've achieved so much. Like in 8 weeks, this is what you've achieved is fantastic. So you are right. You are very coachable, very mentorable. That's now a word that you've invented, and I like it. Mentorable is good. And what I love about that is that when there's suggestions made, or there's ideas, or there's the content, like throughout the book, there's the workbook with the modules, and plus there's our live calls and interactions and our WhatsApp access together. We chat together. So there's a lot of hands-on that goes on. But one thing I've noticed with you is when you get the idea or you get the lesson, you're very good at implementing it, like with no fear of being imperfect. You just go and do it. And I feel like you've done that because you have invested in yourself, and you're compelled to get good results from that investment, I dare say. So, was that correct to say?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And that's you can read all you want, and I've probably been guilty of this, over the years potentially. But when you're investing that, in yourself in a big way, and and I think the WhatsApp stuff is fantastic. Sometimes I think I'm hassling you, but you always come back, straight away. To be fair to you, if you can't put into action what you're learning, then I really don't see the point. And to be fair to you, that's something that comes across very strong with you. And the workbook is great because it just guides you through it, and you can do it. You can sit down and do it in a week if you want to. And then you say, great, I've done it. I've watched all the videos, I've read it all. But if you don't actually do something with it, you're never going to get anywhere. So, it's just a perfect formula for me then, like, put it like that.
Yeah. Well, you've done it well, and you've done it swiftly and well, effectively. So tell me, since you started, what are some of the things that you've achieved with your money?
Well, the biggest one was when you asked me on a call. I was getting a bit frustrated. I don't mind telling you, I got some debt that I want to get rid of because I've never been any good at managing money.
Yeah.
And I was getting a bit frustrated. You said, well, what issues have you got? I said, struggling with debt. Blah, I want to pay it off, this, that, and the other. So then you just said, look, ask. That was it. When do you want to pay off your debt by? I said 12 months. And you said, well, what if I told you that you needed to do that in a month? What would you do? And then you said, if you asking a different question, can bring about a different answer. So that really hit home with me. That was like the light bulb going off. So anyway, as a result of that, and it's not a bad thing, it's definitely a good thing for my ego and for everything else. I've sold my car, and it's quite liberating. It became, when I was looking at it, I don't mind telling you, a symbol of my ego, thinking, well, I work doing this, I need this car, and I don't need it at all. And it was taken off the drive day before yesterday. So my money now is with me, and I've worked with Lloyd as he works with all of us to set up a system for making sure that you manage your money much better and don't spend as much. With the shopping thing that you mentioned earlier as well, and that's probably the biggest shift in mindset for me is that question, the question bit for me.
Yeah, it was a massive breakthrough moment, and what even just impressed me so much more is you actually went out and attacked it, and you achieved half of the debt that you were going to pay off in 12 months. You paid off in a month. Oh, it was even a couple of weeks. Yeah, a month, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you just swiftly did things. So you did it like 12 times faster, just from a simple flip, because you got on the calls, you asked the questions, and you're open, and that's what you did. So you did it, but I think your approach changed because you got mentorship.
Yeah.
And someone holding you accountable and saying you can do better. What are you going to do? Now, I didn't know when I asked that question what you were going to work out, but I knew you were capable of having fun with it, just to
Yes.
see if it were possible. But lo and behold, I get a WhatsApp from you saying, hey, you wouldn't believe it, but I've actually paid off half of that debt in a month. I actually couldn't believe it. It's incredible. So tell me, like, that's one big thing. But I noticed in you as well that I don't know because I've only known you for a short time, but I feel like a bit of your personality is changing a little bit with taking yourself a little less seriously and being a bit more malleable with ideas, and you're exploring other options as a side hustle now, obviously saving money. But I think there's some shifts in your personality. Do you feel the same?
Oh, 100%. I'm getting back to a better version of the old me. That's what I'm thinking about it, because the last 3 years have been very tough, and you're right, I'd become quite stiff. I was not in a good headspace really, but what the shift in mindset, like I said earlier, it's liberating. And then if you're willing to act on it as well, I'm happier. I'm sure if my family were here now, I'm sure they'd say I was happier as well. Carless, but happy. But but it's all works in the same direction, Lloyd, because no car means I'm walking more, which is great. When stuff like why my wife's asking why and I know this has nothing to do with my personality, but why you cancelling your gym membership or your swimming membership? Well, I'm doing that because I'm not going swimming, so I can, and it's all the shift, and it compounds. The way you feel about doing something which is quite liberating, which is different, makes you feel good, makes you feel better, and if you are coachable, and if you and the bit I like as well, and I'm going all around the shop now, but the different elements that you have, some people will be higher on the level, and some people will be lower, but they all push you in that same direction, and it just makes me feel great. And as I know, I'm on a weekly call with another chap on the program, so we catch up every week. He's at a different stage to me, and he's there's always something that we can talk about, and it's great. It really is good. But yeah, I'm getting back to, that's the way I see it in my head. I'm getting back to a better version of the old me. So that's all good.
Yeah, and you've obviously made a friend in Cole. We've done an interview together. He's awesome. And it's just fortuitous because we do breakouts on the Zooms and fun things and interactions occasionally. And you guys got connected. So, and I know you hit it off. So you're giving each other accountable now on these calls. So you've got accountability partnership. You've got obviously wonderful results. You've got new knowledge. And I feel like you've achieved 12 months worth of stuff in 8 weeks.
It's crazy. It does feel silly. I mean, I was shocked when you asked me to do this. I got to be honest, because I was talking to Colin about it, and I said, well, the thing is, I don't feel as if I've done much. But then when you consider and for me, it's the biggest thing is the shift in mindset. When I think of how I'm thinking now compared to how I was thinking before, it's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. I think the reason why, like, and I could do so many more success stories from the guys in the group. I don't know who I choose when as to what, but I find when there's been some successive breakthroughs that I feel are very relatable to people who are in a spot financially that they would be inspired by hearing this. I think I'd like to get that out there and share that, obviously, because we want to help more people. It's just, how do you share your breakthroughs? So best for you to share them. But the reason I asked you is because, you've had a sequence of great successes, but what people don't realize with money is that it's not the actual amount that I look at if I'm going to say, hey, you've had a wonderfully successful experience already with implementing things and getting your money in order. It's actually, the money is a byproduct of the behavior changes. So I look at the behavior changes and I already know that you're going to be way richer, just because you've done it already. You've shifted your mindset, you've done audits, you've followed the training, you've engaged in you've taken massive bold action, you're paying off debts, you've got your money system in place, you're investing, you're looking up, you're paying yourself first, you're doing all these lessons. So just like Colin, the system has been set up and your mindset has been shifted and conditioned to that of a millionaire. And it's just a matter of time now to watch your money grow in those areas. And we don't have enough time to watch that happen to a million, but it's in place to do that. So you've done a lot of the heavy lifting already.
The,
Really.
the other thing, which is, and it's fantastic. The other thing I wanted to say as well, your environment stuff. That was a lot of the stuff we covered up front. To change to make that shift, you change your environment, and then certainly model a mentor and this, that, and the other. But I didn't realize until I started thinking about it differently. I think after a call with you or whatever, or a WhatsApp chat with you. I think it was a WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of friends who think like this, and I never knew.
Yeah.
Successful, friends who have their own businesses and stuff. So I've sat down with a few of them for a couple of hours, and they're like, "What do you want to talk about?" I want to pick your brains about something. I'm having a conversation with them, and one of them said to me, "What have you got a credit card for?" I was like, "What do you mean? Everybody's got a credit card." And he said, "No, I haven't." Well, I've got one just to pay off, and I just pay it off straight away. But what on earth are you doing that for? And I was thinking, well, I've known this guy 30 years, and we've never had that conversation before, So
there you go. Yeah.
it can be as close to you as you don't realize as it is, far away as well. So really good.
But I feel like too, you're equipped with certain learnings and some jargon even, or it's front of mind, and it's compelling you to have conversations about money because it's what you do each week and what we talk about. So it's probably compelled a lot of those conversations you weren't going to have before because you make up, like what you said, you just make up stories that everyone's the same or whatever it might be. So, but I think for you too, I think it's coming to the calls and being in the environment. I know that people ask questions and you learn, and you ask great questions and they learn. And that's an environment that we have that people can step into without having to, even if they didn't have the environment where they live, they can step into it online too, and that's the whole idea. And I think the environment's tremendously helped you in various learnings. I can see your cogs in your mind turn when there's a call on, and when you're picking something up to go and implement it. So I'm always excited to see what you're going to achieve that week.
Frightening, you mean?
No, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So I think it's wonderful. You have achieved a lot, and it's the beginning. So I mean, I'd love to do another one of these when we wrap up, but it's very inspiring, very relatable with what you're going through financially and what you're achieving. So it's been excellent. Well, I've got two final questions, very brief. Number one, what's your favorite part about the program?
All of it. Honestly, it is, for me in particular, it is a perfect blend of visual learning through videos. It is a perfect blend of the workbook, having to put pen to paper. I mean, who does that nowadays? It's all online, isn't it? But actually writing something down makes a difference. It's the wider reading that you suggest. I mean, that book, Atomic Habits, was amazing for me. It was crazy, and it's that. And then it's access to you, Lloyd, through WhatsApp when you come back straight away, and where you're 10 hours ahead of me in the world. And, the Facebook group is superb. And I to be honest with you, Lloyd, I couldn't pick one bit. For me, the way I operate it's a perfect blend of various, vehicles then for me to learn, but not only learn, to put into action as well.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good.
Excellent. Well, we want to make sure no one falls through the cracks. So there's multi-platform coaching experience, but big ups to you for doing the work. I think you engage, and it makes a difference. So my final question would be then, what would be your advice to someone else, to others out there who are wanting to change and maybe watching this video of us?
If you're thinking about it, just do it. You won't regret it. And the younger you are, the better. 100%. I mean, I wish, I saw a question today, and I can't remember where it was. What would you tell your 18-year-old? What would you? Oh, it's in the group, is it?
Yeah.
What would you tell your 18-year-old self? Well, yeah, it would be, if this was around when I was 18, then we'd be having a different conversation now, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, if if like me, I mean, I did hesitate. I had to laugh, Lloyd. I don't think I've told you this. When I paid, Melissa, I think, went out for the day, So she didn't come back to me on email for about 10 hours. So I thought, oh heck, it's a scam. But no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. It's definitely not.
No, I get it. It's fine.
If you're on the fence, you know, and you've had that call and you think, you know, what something I might say might help, then my advice would be, you know, just do it and engage, and you won't regret it.
Yeah,
100%.
amazing, wonderful. And you get to meet Simon, you get to hang out with him. So if you yeah, you're being great. No, what's really fascinating is when you go through the program, you learn everything, you grow. And I was talking to Christine, one of our graduates. She just started our elite program after she's been for a full year. She's graduated and she's gone to our second season. And she said, you know what's really interesting? Jumping on the calls and seeing how far you've come, because you see people at the beginning of the journey. And she's like, wow, like you can really see that. So I think what will happen with you is the same towards the end. You'll find a lot of new people coming in that they're going through the same beginnings and learnings. And what's great is we have a variety of mentors who have gone through the program, like Colin and yourself and many others, who are showing the way to the new people that come in. So it's a wonderful group of kind, supportive, fun, happy people as well, that we've got a very good wanker filter. So it's a lot of good people in our program that you get to meet. So hey, Simon, thanks so much for jumping on in your time, mate. I really appreciate it. I am impressed by your results. I love working with you. It's fantastic. And I can't wait to see what you achieve in the next 10 months. It's going to be amazing. But thanks again.
No worries. Thanks for asking, Lloyd. Much appreciated.
You bet. Talk soon.